you're coming across to everybody who watches this that you're kind of an absolute jerk. I'm just letting you know that. I don't necessarily think that, but that's what people think.
Jordan's messages.
Sponsored by Squarespace.
I have not read what is behind me on the whiteboard, and I am not going to read it until the end of the episode, and I'm going to see if it makes sense with the questions. Let's get to the messages. Dear Blimey Cow, about 3 years ago, my older brother passed away. No one in my life ever seems to remember the date of his passing, which sometimes makes me frustrated, so one day I prayed and I asked God to let no guy remember the date of his death. To let no guy. Nobody? It says to let no guy.
Just keep going, it'll make sense.
To let no guy remember the date of his death, unless he was the guy intended, me to marry. Fast forward a few months, and the anniversary of his death rolled around. That morning, I was having a devotional with a group of girls, and we were going over a psalm. Our Devo leader asked us to pick a verse from that psalm to focus on. Later that day, I received a handwritten letter from a good family friend of mine. In this letter, he said that he was praying for me on this hard day and stuff. He also put a Bible verse in the letter. It was the same Bible verse that I had written down that morning to focus on. Is he my future husband? I am now in college, 12 hours away from him, and I have no idea what to do.
Wow.
Wait, so how many years ago was this?
I think you said 3 years ago that he died?
No. But 3 years ago, he passed away. But this
just happened? The rest of this stuff just happened.
This devotional leader is in a different state, and then randomly she gets a handwritten letter from this guy who said the exact same verse.
It sounds like maybe she was back home for something at church, and this happened, and now she's back at school.
Okay. So maybe you were visiting home, and then this happened, and then okay, so is there a chance that he somehow got intel that she used this verse?
Oh, I see what you're thinking.
Because if not, I mean, yes, 100% this guy, you're marrying him tomorrow. We're writing him back, guaranteed win for you, guaranteed W. Now, if there's some way that this guy could have gotten intel on this psalm and stuff. Now, I'm not saying about the brother's passing and he knew that date, okay? Like, he needed intel for that, right? But he was considerate enough to. But if we're talking, it's putting that aside. If we're talking, which is, I wouldn't say is confirmation that this guy is like for you. But now, is it nice that maybe this is a really great option? This guy was nice enough and remembered, and like you had this like pact with God basically about this. This guy's the options are on the table now with this guy. Okay, he has made it past the first round. Now the second round, and this guy has somehow made it to the fifth round without even going through the other steps, is if he somehow got the psalm that you had selected that day without any intel. I mean, it's like, of course.
Yeah.
So that is your discretion. I don't know, but if you can confirm, or if in your heart you're like, there is no chance that this guy would have known that, then we are writing this guy a handwritten letter, and we are trying to keep it together. We're trying to not seem like absolutely desperate, but we are trying our hardest to make this happen. Okay?
I mean, even if he did have intel, he clearly cares enough.
Oh, no, I understand that. I'm talking, even if he had intel and he cared enough and he did all that, blah, 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 okay, he's still in round one. He passed round one, now he's entering round two. Okay. But if somehow God gave him that psalm, that to me is spiritual confirmation that it is written that this guy is supposed to be with her. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's round 5. Now, if not, we're back to round 2. But round 2 is extremely promising already, and he probably still is. But round 5, it's like you guys are basically already married. Like, you guys should have been married 2 years ago. You know. That's what I'm trying to say. So, wow, great. I've never seen a miracle like this on messages. I've never. And I am very sorry about your brother who passed away. if somehow all of this works with this guy, I feel like this is a great story to tell.
Do you want to record a little something for their wedding that they can play at the wedding?
Okay, we already got the camera on. I just wanted to say, I'm not making this wedding about me. It's never about me. But I just wanted to say that I was the first to know. God was the first to know. I was the second to know. And I relayed it to this person who gave me No Name. You, right now, No Name, the girl, I am happy for you. This is the greatest day of my life. And your life. Thank you. You're welcome. Guys, the best advice that I can give you is to start that passion project you've always wanted to start. Something that gets you up in the morning. We know that you need to get up in the morning. And if you have that creative project you're really wanting to start this year, the year's almost over, that was totally fine, you just need to go ahead and start it. Of course, you'll need a website, and our friends at Squarespace makes the whole process just so easy for building a website. Anyone can do it. We build our sites with Squarespace and have been using their services for over a decade now. Maybe you want to sell stuff or display your work or start a blog or a podcast. Whatever you want to do, Squarespace can create a site that does one or all of those things. With Squarespace's collection of cutting-edge design tools, anyone, literally anyone, can build an online presence that perfectly fits their brand or personality. And say you're not very good at coming up with a brand or whatever. Well, guess what? Their AI-enhanced website builder makes an already easy process even more efficient and customized just for you. It'll add nice looking stuff to your site that you hadn't even thought of before. Of course, you'll need a domain name, and Squarespace makes that easy too. All the security features that other sites make you pay extra for, darn them. They're all included for one low price with Squarespace. You can easily take donations on your website, and you can add videos. Squarespace is a fantastic service that is constantly improving. We cannot recommend them more highly. If you've been thinking about starting a website, I want to encourage you to just do it. Because now, making a website is so easy, and it's fun too. Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch, go to our link, squarespace.com/Cal, because there, you're going to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/Cal. Now, let's get back to the messages. Hey Jordan, unfortunately my husband is addicted to screens. He thinks he doesn't have a problem and that screen addiction doesn't exist, but it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, like, as a thing? Like, what?
He looks at everyone. What are you talking about?
That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist in the universe. I'm not addicted. It's impossible to be addicted to a screen. It's impossible.
It's like being addicted to a window.
Yeah,
I just look out the window. Sue me.
The screen addiction doesn't exist. But he spends hours every day on his phone and computer playing video games when he gets home from work. He barely interacts with us. He lets our young children watch whatever he's playing or watching and has no filter for what is appropriate for them. How can I teach my kids that this is unhealthy and that it's inappropriate to ignore your family for the sake of screens without bad-mouthing him? I feel hopeless to counteract the negative example he's setting. Talking to him does nothing since he doesn't understand why it's a problem, and I won't make any changes. He thinks our kids should have unrestricted access to screens. All right. You can do nothing to help him. Only I can right now. You give him the phone or send it to him. He's looking at his screen. He's already looking at his screen anyways. So send this to him, and if he makes it to this, then he will hear what I'm about to say. Okay. Sir, I don't know your name. We'll call you Dad. We'll call you Father, because that's what you are.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a story. The other day, I was at the park with my son, and I'm interacting with him, helping him go down the slide, playing with him. I don't have my phone because I wanted to interact with him because he's only going to be this age one time, and I love him. I want to be with him. I'm not saying you don't love your children. That's not what I'm saying. But I did see a man who was at the park as well, and he kind of looked a little out of it. And I immediately, as somebody who does believe that screen addiction is real, I immediately know this person is addicted to their screens. That's all they do all day long. They're sad kind of people, and they are addicted to their screens, but they don't see that they are. And his little child is running around, going down the slides, and he's just not paying attention at all to them. Just totally in his own little world. He just thinks kids are kids, and I'm doing work, or I'm trying to decompress. I'm trying to me. And I could just feel that. I could see that. And I felt bad for the child, and I felt bad for him because he had no idea that he was doing anything that was wrong or that was harming his children. Because his child is a little kid. The child seems happy. The child seems like, hey, daddy, running up, and he's like, huh? Oh yeah, let me watch you go down this. Let me watch you go down the slide. That was great. All right, and then he walks away. It's like there's zero interaction. Like your child can seem like they're doing well when they're not, and you're not doing anything, and you wouldn't know because you're looking at your screen all day long. You have no idea. Because a kid looks happy doesn't mean that they're actually happy. Okay, I see this a million times at the park. You can tell which kids' parents interact with them and which don't. It's very clear to somebody who does interact with their children. You can sense that, and you feel really bad for everybody involved because, you know, the parents are just a slave to the algorithm. So I just want to say, you are actively doing harm to not only your children, but your wife. And your wife doesn't know what to do because you're the man of the house, and that does come with something, okay? And if you're not on board and you're actively showing your children that you're playing games, that you're doing all this stuff, okay, like, I would suggest, not to give you advice, but this is an advice show, and I will tell you, if you are going to, I think that your wife, honestly, I think that at this point, your wife is so frustrated with you that she would actually be okay if you just said, hey, I will put the screens away until the kids go to sleep, and then I will play as much as I want. I feel like that's actually a decent compromise, because at least that shows that you care and you're not a total jerk. Because right now, you're coming across to everybody who watches this that you're kind of an absolute jerk. I'm just letting you know that. I don't necessarily think that, but that's what people think watching this, okay? So if you want to not be that way and you want to be there for your kids, at the very least, play with your kids with no distractions, and then at night, play until 3 a.m. Whatever you want to do, just do that. And then the next step is to try and dock that down and maybe actually spend some time with your wife. But just for right now, just make the compromise that you will play with your kids even if you're tired, even if you don't want to. You'll play with them, and then you will actively harm yourself at night looking at anything that you want to, which you already do, I'm sure, and play as much as you want until 5 a.m. But you are committed to your wife that you will not look at the screen when your kids are around. I feel like that's a pretty decent compromise because she's not telling you not to do it.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. You can never spend time with her, but you have to do this for the kids because she doesn't seem like she's concerned about herself. She seems like she's concerned about her kids.
Dude,
I feel like that's a decent compromise to do.
I can't. When I see couples where it's like one parent has just checked out, like, what is the other parent supposed to do? Because you can't. You have to be there for the kids. So you know, I don't want to talk about like leverage, but you have there. It's not like you can say, well, I'm gonna leave to teach you a lesson because you don't trust them with the kids.
Yeah.
So you have to take the. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, it's a big mess.
What are you supposed to do?
I don't know. Hopefully coming from somebody else on the internet is a little bit more removed because sometimes people can listen. But yeah, if the wife says something, he's not gonna. Be honest, if your wife said this, you would completely check out. It would make and think about it. That's actually really sad that it took some random dude online to say something to maybe break through to you. That's what's and I probably didn't even because you kind of seem hard-headed, to be honest. So I don't even know if this helped.
It's heartbreaking when you see a parent on their phone and you can tell the kid is like looking at them.
And then you can see the kid being kind of aggressive on the park and
yeah.
wanting really a lot of attention.
Yeah.
There was I always have this one story that there was a kid over at my house, and I knew and he was a little bit of a kid who was he's not troubled, but like you could see that he probably didn't get enough attention at home. And he would do things like kind of want to hurt the animals. That's always kind of one sign that they're not getting enough attention, from their father at home.
Yeah.
And he was doing things like that I noticed, and I was like, hey, you need to stop. I was in charge that day. I was like, hey, you need to stop. And I was like, okay, I want to encourage him by really roughhousing, really playing with him.
That's what I knew you were gonna say. Yeah.
And so I did, and it almost makes me cry thinking about it. It was the weirdest thing. We were running around my I want to say chimney. It's not my chimney. My fireplace.
Yeah.
And we were playing this game where he would run around, and there were some other ones there. He would run around, and he would I would act like a monster, and I was like, ah, and I would grab them. I was actively trying to chase them to grab them, and they were supposed to be running away. The other kids that were there were trying to run away, but the thing about him is that he was actively trying to run run into my arms, and he was like so happy, and he started acting better.
Yep.
So
Dude,
it solved everything. He was like the greatest kid.
That makes me cry too.
Yeah.
We were hanging out with a family that had some foster kids, so who knows what the situation was.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking these kids because they kept just being all over me. I was like, I'm just going to let these kids crawl all over me if they want. And they just climbed up on top of me. I put them on my shoulders.
Yeah.
I could tell that just meant the world to them.
It instantly changes them.
Yeah. Literally.
It's crazy.
It's just, there's some biological / spiritual resonance that you cannot actually measure.
It's nonverbal.
Yeah. That kids just need. It doesn't even have to be. That's what's sad. It should be the parent, but it doesn't even have to be the parent. If the parent isn't there, they just need some that natural boundary of saying hey, you could physically destroy me, but you're choosing instead to use.
That's what I've told Sarah.
Yeah.
Same thing. I think that's the kind of the power that. And women have this too, but there's but biologically as a kid, you think my father is the strongest human alive.
Right.
So when the father is the one who is being gentle.
Right.
Yeah, it changes everything.
Yeah. Or either being gentle or just not doing anything. It's like the kid has no natural boundary.
Right. And then they really think about that when they get older, and that's what changes their life. So.
Right.
Anyways, we'll move on. I'm gonna cry. Jeez. Finally, the sign will be revealed. Sign. Yeah.
That was funny.
What the?
That was funny.
It's totally random. Signs. The sign will be revealed.
The classic 2004 film.
That's exactly what I thought.
Joaquin Phoenix.
That's exactly what I thought. Signs. That movie Sign, obviously it makes sense because of the sign with the guy and the Bible verse and stuff. But me saying, let's look at the sign, and then it was signs is a sign. So that's a sign in and of itself. So yes, I do think that you can marry the guy. Don't be messy. And leave good messages.